Asking for cued behaviors is not how I would choose to help my dog regulate. And we see this a lot. It's even something that I see recommended by some pet professionals, unfortunately. I think the intention is to move the dog into their thinking brain, and we think, well, if they're doing a cued behavior, then they're in their thinking brain. Or if they're doing a cued behavior, that will move them into their thinking brain. That will somehow, what we're saying there is that will somehow make them feel safer. And so a trigger is coming and we ask our dog to sit. Or we're moving the dog away from a trigger, which is great. And before we give them something to genuinely help them calm down, like connection or a scatter feed, we withhold that until they can do a cued behavior. Sometimes a cued behavior that mimics calmness. And not only is this a misunderstanding of how we create safety, but it can actually make things much worse. And it can even be dangerous. So we need to really investigate what we're doing and why. Things I tend to use in my toolkit and teach to my clients that help dogs feel safer include ensuring agency, the belief that one has control over their environment, facilitating flight and avoidance, teaching the dog how to get away from the thing that is stressing them out, connection with us, with their safe people, connection with a regulated nervous system, and species-typical behaviors that lower stress levels on a physiological level, including sniffing, licking, chewing. Lowering the head beneath the shoulders slows the heart rate. Does telling a dog to go to their place or give us their paw make them feel safer? In fact, I think there's a big risk that cueing behaviors in those situations actually pulls important resources that our dog could be using to gather information to figure out that they're safe, to engage in self-regulating behaviors, to communicate to us something that they need. It can also trend toward micromanaging, and micromanaging can make our nervous system feel better, but it actually decreases the dog's sense of agency, particularly around bodily autonomy. It could even be counter to what our dog actually needs in that moment. If I'm asking my dog to sit, how can they move away and sniff, lower their head beneath their body, engage in these behaviors that actually help them calm down? It's like interrupting a human who's stressed out and trying to take deep breaths and asking them to do a math problem instead. And this can even be really dangerous because it can give us the false perception that the dog is fine because we're changing their behavior, and their behavior is a really good indicator of if we need, for example, more space. I cannot tell you how many dogs I've met who have knocked their human off their feet or bitten someone because they were in a sit and seemed fine, and then once the trigger actually passed them, the dog reacted. We have to be really thoughtful about when we cue behaviors.